Hello and welcome to Pokemon Wild Loop Devlog 1. Alright, so we're going to start off this devlog with building an island. A new island that is going to be kind of like a filler island. It's not going to host a gym leader or anything, no main part of the story. It's going to be for your rival and a Team Rocket member. So you can see me start placing these rocks down. I'm just fidgeting with the sizes and the shapes and the heights, trying to create this depth. I'm just creating a nice layout for these islands, while also just trying different styles and shapes of the islands. You can see me trying these spiky bottoms, and I ended up scrapping that idea. I didn't really like it. But then I go straight into these vines because I want this Avatar-esque island, you know, overgrown, big vines connecting these islands so you can climb to reach them with some simple parkour jumps. Because I want something where you have to use your wind charge, because on my map we have a wind charge that the player is given when they start a run, using the Infinity enchantment on it. That is a data pack, by the way, that is not vanilla. A wind charge cannot have a infinity enchantment on it. But with the help of data pack, you can easily add that, and then you have an infinite usage of wind charge. And I think that's great for this type of map because it allows you to reach places without having to build or destroy blocks. And if a Pokemon spawns in the tree, you can either jump up there or you can push it down, and it's very helpful. So you can see me adding these final touches on the island with the vines going straight down, like hanging off the islands. Now you can see me trying to do texture on the map, which is super easy with the Axiom tool. And now I'm gonna add the grass on the island, so you can see it takes seconds. I just have to fidget a bit with the mask, the layer mask. Now I'm adding the color palette to the leaves, to the vines, which is just going to be Azalea leaves and Azalea leaves with flowers on them. And then you can see me take some trees out of my presets or my blueprints using the Axiom tool, and I'm just placing them down on the different islands to add more nature to it. With the majority of the islands now being rock, I just want to fill it in with a bit of moss, just creating a bit more interesting texture on the actual floating rocks. This kind of ties in the vines and the grass on top of it to kind of match, just making it feel more overgrown. What you can see now is me making sure that you can reach every single island and placing a block on top of it if I've determined it's accessible. Now I am placing some dirt on top of the grass here to just kind of indicate the player that this is an area you can use your wind charge to reach further up onto the islands. To populate the islands, I need to use my NPCs and my villagers. So at the moment, I find it annoying to create the merchants for the different islands because I have to add a bunch of attributes and data tags to them to make sure they don't move. You can't push them, you can't kill them. If I want them to be silent and give them names that are visible. So to make it easier for myself, I'm creating a function that handles all of this for me. That is just going to be called spawn merchant. And then it's going to add all of the different tags for me, and I can also easily move it by just keeping nearest to myself. And this is going to help me create more islands more fluidly and with less effort. Once I am done with that, I kind of want something similar to a Poke Center in the Pokemon games, where you know, like you see the big orange or red building and you know, yeah, this is the Poke Center, this is where I heal my Pokemons. I don't want it as the same as in I'm building a Poke Center, but I want a structure for the merchant that is their kind of structure. Like, so there's a connection between the thing you see and that like this is the merchant's place, you know, that you don't have to see the NPC to like know where to go, but if you see the sign, you see the patch, you see the barrels and stuff, I want you to know, okay, that's the merchant. I don't have to explore that any further. So this structure I will use on almost all of the islands. Some will have exceptions. I'm not sure which ones, but maybe the structure won't really fit the theme, or I have a better idea for that specific item, but the majority of islands is going to use the structure on their merchants. And the next big thing I am updating and improving is the loot system, or the loot table. Currently, when you've explored the islands, you can find random chests that are generated when you create a new run. So these loot chests will not gain any new loot unless you start a new run, but I am using the Lootr mod, which allows you to play this with co-op, so each player gets their own loot and it's not limited, so you don't have to share it or anything, right? Everyone gets their own loot and their own chances. So if one player opens a chest and the next person opens the same chest, it will not be the same loot inside of the chest. They will both gain the same loot table and they will still have a chance of receiving the same items, but that doesn't mean they will receive the same items. So in the loot table, I'm adding more TRs, I'm adding all the evolution items, I am adding more Pokeballs, I am adding Mega Stones. I'm also creating new pools to kind of control the kind of type of loot you get. So I'm adding conditioners like chance to get this pool, and it can be a TR pool, it can be a Mega Stone pool, or it can be a Pokeball pool, right? I'm kind of separating the things, I'm cleaning it up. I'm also changing some weights on the things to kind of like match proper rarity for the stronger items. For example, the two strongest items at the moment in the table is the Master Ball and the Totem of Undying. So I'm using a resource pack for the Totem of Undying. It's awesome. It's a Piplup and it looks fantastic and it's so good and it's so powerful. What it does is, if you're holding it in your offhand or your main hand while battling a trainer where you have a chance of losing or dying, the Totem of Undying will actually save your run if you lose a battle while holding it. And then the Master Ball is pretty much self-explanatory. It's really powerful, it's the best Pokeball you can find, but it's very rare. And while I was adding items to the loot table, I made sure to upgrade the main ship merchant. The main ship merchant has lacked quite a bit of love. He hasn't gotten much attention and he was lacking a bunch of items, and he wasn't really all that powerful the way I want him to be, because I want you to be able to lose a run, come back here and strategize with the merchant, right? Like, okay, I have received more new information, okay, this person has those Pokemons and this and that. Okay, so I'm gonna need this to counter it. Okay, but what's the best setup for that? Oh, I'm gonna need that TR. Okay, so then you can go to the merchant, you can buy some health items, you can buy some TRs, you can buy some candies, some evolution items. You can plan out your item to whatever currency or to whatever your balance allows you to, because obviously the further into a run you go, the more money you will receive from that run. Because the way the money works in my map is the higher level Pokemon you defeat, the more money you get. So the further into a run you go, the higher level Pokemon you will fight and the more money you will get. This also brings up a question. With the Totem of Undying being a very rare item in the loot tables, if you're in your chests, I was thinking if I should add the Totem of Undying in the main merchant as well, like the main ship merchant, because I want the main merchant to be very powerful, but if I make it too broken or too easy, it's not fun either. I think you should leave a comment down below. Tell me your opinion, see if it's too powerful, how much should it sell for? At the moment I'm thinking 750,000, but you know, it could be too much, it could be too little, we'll see with the development of the map. Anyways guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope I see you guys in the next devlog.